week, the specialists will come on the show to give you tips on beauty and health. They will keep it simple, keep it real, and keep you in good shape. Every Sunday night at 7.
Hello and welcome to the Financial Report. Hong Kong stocks edged slightly higher as worries about a potentially sharp slowdown in the mainland's economy eased. The Hang Seng Index gained 26 points to finish off at 21,303. Turnover stood at $45 billion. China's economic growth slowed in the second quarter to 7.5% from 7.7% in the first quarter. The outcome was in line with market expectations. Let's take a look at some of today's most active stocks. China Mobile has gained 10 cents. CCB is up 5 cents. The AIA has lost 50 cents and PetroChina has lost 7 cents. Hong Kong dollar exchange rates at 7.75 to the US dollar, 11.67 to the sterling, 7.75 to 100 Japanese yen, 10.10 to the euro, and 100 Hong Kong dollars is 79 RMB. The London FTSE has gained 20 points and the London gold is trading at 1,282 US dollars an ounce. The Frankfurt DAX is up 8 points and in Paris the CAC is trading 11 points higher. That's the finance news for Monday night. Join us for the main news after the break.
Coming up, main news and weather report. Sparkling 25. ATV Miss Asia Pageant 2013 is now open for your participation. You can apply on the following website. Application forms are now available in the following locations.
What happens out there is real. Get the latest European news and current affairs. Whatever happens, when it happens, you're always the first to know. Check in current news. European Journal, tonight at 8. International affairs that concern all of us. Comprehensive research and thorough reports on the most pressing issues. Let's focus on the events that truly matter. Check in current news in focus. Tuesday night at 8. Current events. Controversial issues. In-depth accounts of the latest news and happenings that impact us all. Get to the heart of the matter. Get real with Inside Story. Tuesday night at 6:55.
7 couples, 30-day trip. It's lifetime happiness to travel around amazing sights. But it could also be a nightmare, because you cannot predict when you'll be voted to go home. Leisure Time, Coach Trip. Every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Singer All-Star versus Chelsea FC, Wednesday night at 9.
Destination.
Good evening, you're watching the news at 7:30 on ATV. I'm Belinda Lloyd.
And I'm Bernadette. Here's a look at tonight's headlines.
China's economic growth eased to 7.5% in the second quarter amid weak overseas demand.
Girl who uses lips to read receives high marks in crucial test, while 9 other students are the city's top performers.
Hong Kong's reputation as shopping paradise set to sparkle again with new law against dodgy traders. China's economic growth eased in the second quarter, but regional markets were relieved because the slowdown was not as sharp as feared.
Economists say they don't expect Beijing to cut interest rates or introduce stimulus measures in the short term. ATV's Emily Hsu reports.
The uncertain global economic climate has taken a toll on China's growth performance. The gross domestic product of the world's second biggest economy eased to 7.5% in the second quarter. This compares with GDP growth of 7.7% in the first 3 months of the year. For the January to June period, the economy grew by 7.6%, in line with market expectations, and just above Beijing's full-year target of 7.5%. National Bureau of Statistics spokesman Shang Lai-yun shrugged off concerns that the mainland economy is stalling, saying first-half growth was generally stable and China will be able to meet its goal. But he warned of grim and complicated conditions.
The biggest danger we see for China is just because growth is starting to ease off, they suddenly relax all the monetary tightening measures, and we start to see debt building up again, the property market taking off again. And that is very dangerous, we think, because already the financial cycle is looking pretty excessive.
While full-year growth of 7.5% is the envy of many countries, it would be China's slowest pace in 23 years. And with GDP slowing down in 9 of the last 10 quarters, there are fears that China may not be able to pull the rest of the world out of the economic gloom. Beijing, too, has realized that it cannot depend on exports, which have shrunk because of high unemployment in the US and Europe. It's now focusing on boosting domestic consumption, and this policy has begun to bear fruit. Retail sales in the first 6 months surged 12.7% from a year earlier, with growth last month jumping 13.3%. Those figures appear to be some comfort to top officials, who fear that an economic slowdown could lead to high unemployment that could trigger unrest. But with the mainland's job position set to be stable, economists do not expect cuts in interest rates or the reserve ratios of banks in the short term. Emily Hsu, ATV News.
Dodgy sales practices could soon be a thing of the past in Hong Kong as a result of new rules which come into effect on Friday.
The new law is aimed at cracking down against misleading sales tactics, and the Customs and Excise Department insists that it will not be a toothless tiger in implementing the tightened rules. Hong Kong has long enjoyed the reputation of being a shopper's paradise, but it's also no stranger to complaints about dishonest trade practices. However, underhanded tactics could soon be a thing of the past. A new law that aims to prosecute unscrupulous traders who resort to dodgy dealings comes into force on Friday. The Trade Descriptions Ordinance was amended to expand its reach against a range of malpractices on the sale of goods as well as services. It also creates 5 new offences against unscrupulous behaviour, including aggressive commercial practices and misleading omissions. The Customs and Excise Department will be the main enforcer of the new rules, and it has set up a unit of 140 officers who will specifically deal with unfair trade practice cases. Customs and Excise Commissioner Clennett insisted the new rules mark a step towards protecting consumers from unfair trade practices and providing a fair and level playing field for businesses.
We expect there's going to be a rush of complaints initially. That's bound to be the case. But I think in determining our priorities of investigation, we have to and we must treat those cases where there is a relatively larger number of people affected, whose interest has been jeopardized substantially, cases where we feel that there is a tendency of repeated offense, or we reckon that this particular offense represents an undesirable trend of trade practices, which is likely to proliferate.
With just days to go before the new rules take effect, some traders are already up in arms, claiming there are too many grey areas, giving rise to ambiguities over what actions could fall foul of the law.
We feel that this is the best way to provide us with enforcement power to cope with all scenarios, because like the media has very accurately portrayed, there are endless different ways of reinclinations of business practices, even terminology. If we attempt to try to control them by listing everything, it would make us a toothless tiger.
Chung added that the time frame to investigate such cases may vary. He said a simple, straightforward complaint may take 3 months to resolve, whereas a more complex case would need more time. 9 students have obtained top marks in this year's Diploma of Secondary Education exam, while a blind girl who uses her lips to read had impressive results.
More than 28,000 students gained enough points for government-subsidized university courses, but there are only 15,000 places. Today was the day when more than 82,000 secondary school students across Hong Kong knew whether they had done enough in a key exam to get into university. They waited anxiously to learn their fate, just weeks after sitting for the Diploma of Secondary Education exam. For many, there was good news. But some who didn't measure up broke down in tears and had to be comforted by teachers. 9 students obtained the highest score, 5 double star, in 7 subjects. Mandy Zhang wasn't among the top 9, but her achievements have put her under the spotlight. The Shumshou Post student, who is blind and has hearing difficulties, scored 3 5 double stars and 2 5 stars. She reads by using her lips to read Braille because her fingers are not sensitive enough.
Up till now, I think visual impairment and also my hearing problem has given me some difficulties in my learnings. But on the whole, I still feel optimistic. I still feel optimistic about my life.
Zhang said she has never considered giving up despite her disadvantages and is aiming to become a translator.
So I think whatever the challenges I have to face, I must have the courage to help myself. So on the whole, I still feel that my life is not that helpless or hopeless.
Hong Kong's top students include Terry Zhe, who studied in this Tin Shui Wai College. He told those who aspired to follow his footsteps that they should read books they like and not focus only on textbooks. Ze's mother said she had shed tears of joy on learning that her son is one of the top 9 students. And his English teacher said he's proud of Ze.
I know he's good, but I never expected it. He's super talented.